Tariffs have thrown a wrench into the 2025 spring housing market. Buyers are hesitant, sellers are uncertain, and mortgage rates, they've been on a roller coaster ride. I'm Team Lamm, a 23-year mortgage lender based out of California. And in this video, we're going to talk about how the tariffs are changing the landscape of the housing market in the spring of 2025, what we see happening with interest rates and buyer demand over the next 90 days, and how you can best position yourself to take advantage of opportunities that may come out of this. By the way, if you like this video, if you get anything out of it at all, please make sure to subscribe, like, or click that little notification bell. It really helps my video. The first thing we're going to talk about are the tariff talks from the Trump administration. Now, at the time that I'm recording this video, who the heck knows what's going to happen by the time I get it out? But here's what we need to know about tariffs. Regardless of whether he goes through with the tariffs, puts them on pause, what the Trump administration is doing right now is sort of stirring things up. And this is definitely having an impact on people who are wanting to enter the housing market. Now, the first thing that we're not going to see for quite some time is how these tariffs are going to end up changing things on the grocery aisle or some of the costs of materials for building homes, and the long-term impacts of what's happening right now as far as housing is concerned remains to be seen. But the one thing that I can tell you right now for certain is that we are seeing volatility in the financial markets that we've not seen in years. In the first week of April, we saw mortgage rates come down over 1% in a 48-hour period of time, followed by the next 48 hours going up over 1%, ending the week a little bit over 7% with most lenders nationwide. Now, just to give you some perspective, just 2 weeks before that, mortgage rates with many lenders were in the low to mid sixes. The way that this is translating into the buyer market of the spring, which is usually one of the most busy times in the housing market, is sellers are becoming a little bit uncertain and buyers are becoming a little bit more hesitant. Now, this does not mean anything. It doesn't mean that home prices won't go up this year. It's very likely that they will. It also doesn't mean that it's not a good time to buy a house. But I think what most people were hoping from the turn of the election was that we would sort of have some certainty as we move forward into the spring and summer months of 2025. And right now, that's just simply not the case. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about the regional disparities in home values. For example, in Florida, we're seeing a decline in home prices in many of the different counties in Florida. I had a client last week who was able to get their offer accepted $50,000 below asking price, and I've seen a few of those similar trends in Texas. But here in California, where I currently live and do the majority of my business, that's not the same story. We're seeing multiple offers in most areas in California again, and some of the hotter markets are places like Sacramento, the Bay Area, and Southern California, where they just had the fires and they have a shortage of inventory. Now, one of the trends that I've noticed over the last 10 years is I've been in California and seen so many people migrate out of California into different states like Idaho, Tennessee, Florida, and Texas, just to name a few, is that California home values have remained very stable, while some of the areas that had a mass influx of migration have seen some of the biggest amounts of inventory, and some of them have even seen home values come down. One area, and I won't say because I don't want to bet a bunch of comments, I've seen it decline over 20% in the last 24 months. So if you're looking at buying a home and you're thinking about moving to another state, make sure you make note of those areas. Now, I want to talk a little bit about interest rates one more time. And this is really for those of you who you want to make a move. You want to sell your home and buy the next home, but you're in the lock-in effect with your current 3% rate and you just don't love the price tag on that next move. Or for those of you that have not entered the market yet and you've been trying to time the market right. I have good news and bad news for you. The good news is that we do think that interest rates will continue to decline throughout 2025. And the inflation numbers that we've seen in April have shown a meaningful decline, and the inflation numbers are definitely going to have an impact on interest rates once we get through this whole tariff talk. The bad news is we do not see home prices coming down. Now, even though in many markets throughout California, we have finally entered a neutral market, which means that there's more homes available, and some are calling them buyer's markets, it's not a buyer's market. If a home is priced right in a really popular area, we're still seeing multiple offers. We're not going to see home prices come down this year, and we doubt we're going to see home prices come down in any years to come. But if interest rates come down, even if it's just 1 or 2%, that's going to make a massive impact on the mortgage payment that most people are going to make. The one thing you do have to remember is that according to NAR, every 1% that rates come down, 100,000 more buyers will enter the housing market, which will increase demand, which will certainly increase the price tag of the homes people are buying. Now, my goal is just to share the facts with you. I try not to get on one side or the other. This is what we see happening right now in April. I would love to hear your thoughts or comments in the comments below. I do try to respond to them as much as possible. And like I said, I'll say it again, if you haven't subscribed or liked this video, please make sure to do it. It would be a huge favor to me. I'll have another video coming up real soon, and I hope you guys are having a great day.